Imagine walking into a silent chamber hidden deep inside a pyramid. The air is dry, cold, and heavy with the smell of ancient dust. In front of you stands a golden coffin covered with strange symbols. When the lid is slowly opened, a human body appears. The shocking part is that this person died more than 3,000 years ago. Yet the face is still recognizable. The skin is dark and dry, but the features remain. How did the ancient Egyptians preserve a body for so long? And why would an entire civilization spend enormous time, money, and effort preparing for death? The answer reveals one of the most fascinating beliefs in human history. The ancient Egyptians believed that death was not the end. To them, it was the beginning of a new journey. They believed that a person was made of several spiritual elements, including the ka and the ba. After death, these spiritual parts would continue to exist. However, the soul needed a place to return to. If the body decayed, the soul could become lost forever. That is why preserving the body was considered essential. A well-preserved body meant a better chance of surviving in the afterlife. For the Egyptians, a tomb was not simply a grave. It was a house for eternity. Egyptians imagined the afterlife as a continuation of life on earth. You would still eat, sleep, work, and meet your family members. But to enjoy this eternal life, your soul had to recognize your body. This belief explains why they tried so carefully to preserve the face, hands, and overall shape of the body. They feared that if the body became unrecognizable, the soul would lose its connection and wander endlessly. In their view, physical preservation was directly connected to spiritual survival. When someone died, priests carried the body to a special embalming workshop. The first step was purification. The body was washed with water and scented oils. Then the embalmers began a complex process that could take more than 70 days. This was not ordinary work. It required trained specialists who understood anatomy, preservation, and religious rituals. Every action was performed with care because the body was believed to be the future home of the soul. One of the most surprising parts of mummification was the removal of the brain. Embalmers inserted a long metal hook through the nose and carefully extracted the brain tissue. Next, they made a small cut in the abdomen and removed the liver, lungs, stomach, and intestines. These organs were placed into special containers called canopic jars. Interestingly, the heart was usually left inside the body. Egyptians believed that the heart was the center of intelligence, emotion, and morality. During the final judgment in the afterlife, the heart would be weighed against the feather of truth. After the organs were removed, the body was covered with natron, a naturally occurring salt mixture. Natron absorbed moisture extremely effectively. The body remained buried in natron for about 40 days. During this time, most of the water inside the tissues disappeared. Since bacteria need moisture to survive, the process of decay slowed dramatically. This drying stage was the true secret behind the incredible preservation of Egyptian mummies. Once the body was completely dry, embalmers began wrapping it in linen. Hundreds of meters of cloth could be used for a single mummy. Between the layers of linen, priests placed protective amulets and recited prayers. Some amulets were believed to protect the heart. Others were meant to guide the soul safely through the dangers of the afterlife. Mummification was not only a scientific process. It was also a deeply spiritual ceremony. Not everyone received the same treatment. Ordinary Egyptians might receive a simple form of mummification, while pharaohs received the most elaborate process imaginable. Royal mummies were placed inside richly decorated coffins. Gold masks, jewelry, weapons, and treasures accompanied them into the tomb. The Egyptians believed that a pharaoh would continue ruling in the next world just as he had ruled on earth. Thousands of years later, many mummies remain remarkably preserved. Some still have hair, fingernails, and even fingerprints. Famous rulers such as Ramesses II and Tutankhamun have been examined with modern technology. Scientists can identify diseases, estimate age, and even learn about their diet. These ancient bodies continue to provide valuable information about one of the world's greatest civilizations. The most astonishing fact is not that the Egyptians could preserve a body for thousands of years. The most astonishing fact is that they did it because they genuinely believed death was only the beginning. Every layer of linen, every prayer, every grain of natron was part of a plan for eternal life. And when we look at these mummies today, we are not simply looking at preserved bodies. We are looking at the physical evidence of a civilization's deepest hope, the hope that life could continue forever.